We are a trade union with 1.9 million women workers in the informal economy in Gujarat and 13 other states in India. Our main goal has been work security, income security, food security, social security, and that's what we club it and call full employment. And the second main goal for us has been self-reliance. Our members' profile is home-based workers, street vendors, manual laborers, service providers, and producers. They're all women. The social security experience came in much later after the organization was formed in 1972, because we found that, women were vulnerable. We are a trade union, yes, but in the informal economy, you're not only vulnerable as far as your income and your work security is concerned, but if you don't have healthcare, childcare, and insurance, and a proper house, a roof over your head, then we are insecure. And so the social security approach started in the 1980s, which is, again, a very holistic, integrated as possible, decentralized doorstep approach. It's women-led, women-run, women-owned through unions, cooperatives, and own organizations. At the first stage, what do we do with Social Security at SEWA? We provide financial services through a bank. There's a women's cooperative bank led by the SEWA initiative. There are childcare cooperatives which are run for very small children between the age of 0 to 3, because in the informal economy, as many of you would know, women start working as soon as the baby is born. In fact, we get babies who are only 2 days, 3 days old, because women have to go back. There's nothing like, maternity leave. So you go back to work immediately as you can. At the second stage are housing and basic amenities, where partnerships are built up with the municipal corporation and public policies are made around housing and basic things like sanitation, insurance, and at the third stage is pension. Now, what do we do with pension? Again, in pension, it's related to women's own savings, insurance for loss of employment, unemployment, and assistance or support through their employers or through their own cooperatives or through their own organizations. How was the insurance cooperative born? It was born within our bank. It was initially only life insurance policies, but now it is based on health, assets, life and accident, livelihood loss, and the entire family, including their husband and children, are covered in it. We are registered as India's first women-owned, women-run insurance cooperative in September 2009. We have about 11,000 individual and 13 institutional shareholders from 5 Indian states, and it is managed by the Board of Worker Leaders and some insurance professionals. Not to miss over here, in 2008, it was after a lot of our mobilizing that India did start a national policy for the unorganized sector. We really lobbied for it, and it was finally, it was a bill which was passed by the Parliament which covers the unorganized sector. There are 2 schemes which the government has started after 2008. One is on insurance, and the other one is we are trying to do a monitoring, a monitoring and evaluation on what the government has done through the different departments of Ministry of Labour, because at the end of the day, you have to be registered somewhere, and the informal economy workers are not registered anywhere. So how do you monitor and evaluate the mechanisms of the programs reaching? We have found that minimum social security for informal workers includes healthcare, childcare, insurance, pension, housing with tap, toilet, and electricity. Services must evolve and develop, start with minimum or floor level benefits and keeping adding on. Work and social security are intertwined. One without the other does not make sense. And organizing is very essential in all this. These organizations have to be sustainable, but they can only be sustainable if they are supported by the state and by the employers. But they can also be sustainable if it comes from the people's own contributions. The other thing which is very important in this sector is training, because we can all talk about social security, minimum social security, but if the people are not aware of it, I remember that initially when we started, they did not even understand, what insurance was. Microfinance was still a little bit understood, but microinsurance was very difficult because women would say, oh, but if I don't get sick, what happens to my premium that I have paid? What happens if I die? I mean, nobody dies in my family. Then what happens to that premium? So these were the kind of questions that came to us. And that is why we felt that training at every stage was very important. And finally, I would say that we need to invest a lot among the adolescent girls, in the adolescent, and among the adolescents, especially the girls, because our girls, our future leaders who will take this movement forward, they still feel very insecure in many ways. The days that are going on right now, they are becoming more and more difficult because as far as education is concerned, yes, in 42 years of our organizing, education levels have become very good. But at the same time, the insecurity levels of work, of income, of food, of social security have increased. So we need to invest a lot in the future leadership of the organization, and that is being done by investing in them and linking them to the policy programs of the state. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.